And we welcome you into the Coach Shinnick Show. Will Kennedy along with Coach Pete Shinnick. We're on the road this week at Carson-Newman, the opener for the 2019 season. Coach, I know it's a tough one to come out on the short end any time, but you guys really fought right up until the end.
Yeah, I love that, we found a way to block the field goal there and then give our offense a chance. We just made too many mistakes prior to that, I think, to beat a good team. Carson-Newman played sound. They did what they needed to do. And unfortunately, we weren't able to execute the way I'd hoped we could.
Lots to work on. You've got some extra time. We'll talk later in the show about shorter, but you get this window playing on a Thursday night. We've talked about it a little bit last week, but that helps you a little bit?
It does. I think it helps us in the long run. It didn't help us, obviously, tonight. We came out, and I felt like we had great energy. I felt like our guys were dialed in. We just missed some opportunities. We really did. We threw an interception down there going in. We dropped a touchdown late. We missed an extra point on offense. And then defensively, I think it's going to come down to probably about 5 plays where I think we overran it or our eyes were wrong. Rest of the game, I felt like, was a back and forth game. And, to be this close, to be right in it as poorly as we played, that's one thing we can take away from this, but we've got to play better.
You knew what you were going to be facing. We'll dive into the first half highlights here a little bit and just kind of talk through them. I mean, you knew what you were facing in their veer attack with their senior quarterback and Evans and their ability to move the football. Did they surprise you a little bit, though? Because, I mean, they really took the running game right from the start.
Yeah, no, we knew they were going to come out and do it. And, I think I mentioned on the show last week that, he's starting his 3rd year, and that's typically when a guy starts to gel in this offense and is able to do it. And I think his rushing yards are going to be pretty good. Thought he threw the ball well also. That kept us off balance a little bit. At the same time, I think, I think we were there, and we just now got to make some plays, and we got to have our eyes in the right position.
Some missed tackles in that first half, especially, and they're picking up some big runs along the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think they popped a couple there early, and I think that's what led to the first score. And then I thought we were able to kind of adjust, slow that down. It felt like at halftime, really, they're putting themselves in position to score was really one play each drive. But again, those are things we got to get better at.
Tough. You need to get the defense off the field a couple of times. Weren't able to do that. On the offensive side of the ball, you bring JC in to start the game. Just really no rhythm there and not much time for him. And then Austin Reed, though, brought a spark.
Yeah, and, we had planned on playing Austin in the 3rd series and then just kind of see how it went. And, I don't think this quarterback battle's over. I don't think it's done. I just felt like in the moment, Austin gave us the most energy and the spark to be able to do it. Thought he ran the ball well, which is an element we're trying to add to what we're doing. Thought he threw the ball well, and then they made some mistakes, had some miscues. And so we just, got to be able to fine-tune what we're trying to do on offense.
You're driving, and he did throw an interception in a position where you maybe could get some points on the board. You guys were able to punch in a touchdown before the half, and so despite the fact they've run for 200 yards and things have kind of gone a little bit squirrely, you go into the locker room only down 13-6.
Yeah, we're right there, and I mean, kind of disappointing. We the last play of the game, or last play of the half, we felt like we could pop something to maybe, get a run. We had a missed assignment by our offensive line. We come out, we start the second half, we get the ball on offense, we have a missed assignment by our running back, and now we're sitting there at 2nd and 15. And it's kind of like we were running in mud there for a little bit. Then I think we settled down a little bit, found a way to continue to get going, and then we're driving, and I felt like we dropped a touchdown that we could have caught, and then we had a 4th down that we were very close on, 4th down conversion that we didn't get. Those are things that you're right there, and as a coach, you're sitting there going, okay, could that have been 3 points? What could that have been? Where would this have been?
Your list of moments. We'll talk a little bit more about the second half here when the Coach Shinnick Show continues. Dive into it, what ended up being a pretty frantic ending to the game. Keep watching the Coach Shinnick Show.
Success isn't measured by fame or fortune, by the number of friends you have, or the number of likes you get. It's measured by time and the amount of times you influence others to be better, to create something greater, and to do more for the community. Success rises above any challenge to transform something small into something spectacular. Something that pushes us beyond what's possible and withstands the test of time. Success is measured by the impact you make. What impact will you make? the University of West Florida. No limits.
Hey, who are you?
Oh, hey, Jeff, I'm a car thief.
What?
I'm here to steal your car because, well, that's my job.
What?
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 It happens. So get all state. I'd be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere, so get an Allstate agent. In Pensacola, call Melissa Keener.
Look at that. 5 glorious inches of Whataburger. Fresh 100% beef stacked high with melted cheese and fresh cut veggies. But what if it's too much fresh beef? Stacked too high with too much melted cheese and too many fresh cut veggies? Well, we have a 4-inch burger like a lot of other places. We just call it a junior. Good thing there's a burger made just for you. Good thing there's Whataburger.
Welcome back into the Coach Shinnick Show. Coach Pete Shinnick and Will Kennedy with you. 13-6 at the half, and you go in the locker room and you talk, about, hey, we're still in this thing. I mean, I've heard you do it before, and you know, a couple plays can make the difference. And you get the ball back to start the second half. You touched on it in the last block. It doesn't kind of get going. It did. It started clicking a little bit, and I thought the receivers, you had a bunch of different guys that were making some plays, especially like Q late in the ball game. Some incredible catches.
Yeah, and I think we needed that early, and we didn't get that. And I think it was, one of the comments I made to our team at the end of the game as we were talking to them is like, hey, all these little things matter, but we still got to make plays, okay? And, you look at, the things that I mentioned in the first segment, whether it was a drop, whether it was a penalty, whether it was an interception, we still were in the game and had opportunities to overcome them. And what I said to our team is, one play is not going to determine it. One guy didn't lose the game. We lost the game. That's where, we've got to pick up as a team. And I felt like right when we got our rhythm, then we kind of lose it again. And we just needed to keep that going. Carson-Newman did a very good job of doing what we thought they'd do. We thought they'd disrupt our passing game by banging our receivers, being physical with them. We knew they were going to run the ball. We knew they had the senior quarterback who had, 2-year starter in the system. And so we just had to take away some things that we weren't able to.
They ran up over 400 yards total offense. You were right around the 250 mark. I know for you, that's offensive coach, not really where you want to be. What do you guys need to do to run the ball a little bit better? There were a couple flashes. Anthony Johnson had one long run, but in general, couldn't really sustain a run.
Yeah, we knew. They did it. They did it to us last year. They do a great job of taking away some of the things that we like to do. But we could have stayed on blocks a little longer. I felt like our offensive line early on was kind of feeling their way around a little bit. I thought Anthony ran well. I thought Jaden Garner, we got him on the outside, ran a little bit. So I feel like we've got the combinations that we need. And then we got to be able to mix it up a little bit and give our quarterback, can't run him, I don't think, as much, but I liked what we were able to get out of the quarterback run game. And now our guys just got to stay on blocks a little longer and give our running backs a chance. I think we showed that we have some guys that can make it go. We just got to give them opportunities to do it.
They scored another touchdown in the second half, make it 20-6. You guys really mount an incredible comeback. Tate, incredible effort at the goal line to extend and get that touchdown, and then you get a shot at the end of this ball game, a first blocked field goal, I think, in program history.
No, so to block the field goal, that was huge, and then to be able to, get the ball and try to get the midfield. Can't tell you how disappointed I am that, we couldn't get a ball off. We couldn't get a ball launched to the end zone. Our O-line, I thought, had done a great job all night. We gave up 2 sacks on the last drive. That's very uncharacteristic of us. I was sitting there thinking we're going to have a shot at the end zone. KG or one of those guys is going to go up, and we're going to win this thing in overtime.
Yeah, throw it to the big guys and make a catch. 20-13 ends up being the final score, and so now you've got that time we talked on the last block to kind of work towards shorter. We'll talk about shorter a little bit later in the show, but you mentioned on the radio to us that you have that list of a couple plays, and is that what we talk about in the next couple days?
It is, and it's really, I think, what our guys have got to understand. Even though those plays happened, we still had opportunities to overcome them. So, as a play happens in a game, you can't go, oh, that's the one that we lost the game on. We still had opportunities to win the game, and so we blocked the field goal. Okay, we give up 2 sacks. If we don't give up those 2 sacks, we might be taking 2 shots towards the end zone right there. So as our guys see that, they got to understand that this game never ends, and we got to keep going. I think we got a resilient group. I mean, I'm excited to, get to work on Shorter. Extremely disappointed we couldn't find a way to pull this one out.
All right, Coach, thank you. We'll check in with you a little later in the show to talk about Shorter and preview that matchup. Coming up next, we're going to talk about some of the other UWF Argos sports that have got things kicked off here in the fall on the Coach Shinnick Show.
You can't stop it. That undeniable charge. So bright, so loud. It rips through the clutches of mediocrity. It breaks down walls, blazes past old ways of thinking. It's creativity, pure electric energy. What will you do with it? The University of West Florida. No limits.
Meet George. He's always searching for a new adventure and has big plans to build. Dad supports his vision and is ready to lend a helping hand. He's using a Pen Air personal loan to bring George's imagination to life. And now, their next big adventure awaits in their own backyard. Here's to banking smarter and reaching higher. Apply today at penair.org/loans.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
What's even better than going to a UWF football game? Going with all your friends. Decks are available for groups between 25 and 200 people. All group decks come with a UWF football game ticket, food, and soft drinks. It's great for company outings, group functions, birthday parties, and youth groups. Prices start as low as $25 per person. Call 850-474-2746 for more information or to book your deck today. Welcome back to the Coach Shinnick Show. Of course, football not the only University of West Florida athletics program kicking things off here in the fall. Coach Melissa Walter with the volleyball team joins us now. You guys are off to a start. You host a big tournament here over the last weekend and bringing in some really dynamic opponents.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We are traditionally known for having a great tournament opening weekend, and clearly this year was no different. And 4 great opponents, 4 incredibly different styles of play. So we were challenged in a lot of different ways. And with this young team, I think going into opening weekend is not a bad thing. It certainly wasn't the result that we were hoping for. But at the end of the day, I think we learned a lot, and really we're in position to go at least 3-1 on the weekend. Yeah,
I know you like to test your team early, and you really got it off to that kind of start. Western Washington, I think, ranked 3rd in the country, and a 5-set battle on opening night.
Yeah, that's one that's going to haunt me for a while. We definitely were in position to win that match, and so I think our players are as disappointed as I was that we weren't able to bring that one home. It was 23-23 in the 4th, and we were up 2-1. Just a couple of mistakes that shouldn't have happened, but at the end of the day, that's a team that was in the national championship game last year, and even though they lost a lot of returners, obviously they were very seasoned, and they know what it takes to win at this level, and I think they got us that day. But at the end of the day, it's just one of those things that I feel like that was so important for our team. And for us right now, we're trying to take something away from every single game that we play, and that one definitely was swing to win.
You come back and win 2 matches on the next day, and really getting a chance to test your bench a little bit, get a lot of players involved, and kind of see who can do what. What did you see that you liked?
I think this team's going to be a lot of fun because we have solutions to a lot of different things that we're going to face. And, honestly, Spring Hill and Florida Tech both challenged us in different ways. That's the best Spring Hill team that I've ever seen. So going point for point with them, we were down, I think, in every single set. And we used people to problem solve our way into those matches. And I think that was a lot of fun, was seeing, I thought every single player that we took and put into a position on Saturday did exactly what we wanted them to do. Julia came in and she served an ace right off the bat. and got a couple of digs for us. That was Jessica Angelo, and that was her first opportunity to get a kill. And so I think she hit like 500 in her first college match. So all of that was really good, and I think you can start to see the camaraderie of this team and just how even when they're not on the court, they just really support each other, and that's definitely something I think is going to advance our team quickly.
Jordan Papa and Kiera Potts had good days hitting throughout some of the matches, and then Wheeling Jesuit in the match on Saturday, a chance to come in, and they're another powerful program, and I know that was a tough one too.
Yeah, that was definitely pretty frustrating for us to play against a team that kind of does things to you that you're not used to. They run everything really fast, they're extremely disciplined, and they dig and dig and dig. So they caused us to play really high air volleyball that's not very typical of us. So unfortunately, we weren't able to really showcase what we could do in that one. I thought after we pulled off that second set that we were in better position, but you know, that's an Elite Eight team from last year that returned everybody. So it's hard to rattle them. But certainly, I mean, I have great respect for their program as well as all the teams that were here, and you know, we're going to learn from this. And I think ultimately that's why we schedule tough. I want our players to see what it's going to look like towards the end of the season, and you know, the level of volleyball that we're going to need to be playing in order for us to get where we want to go.
Spring Hill Sweets Invitational's in the books. You guys are heading out to Colorado next for another big tournament. So again, testing yourself early and often. A couple of your players, Taylor and Sadie, had a chance to go overseas and play some international volleyball.
Yeah.
Really cool experience.
Yeah, so cool. I mean, they both, as freshmen, you know, going after their freshman season, and both of them, Taylor saw significant time, and Sadie went in a bunch of matches that, you know, off the bench and did a great job for us. But that was something I threw out to our entire team. So I was really proud of those two for being, you know, trailblazers and taking the reins and trying to do something overseas. You know, of course, I've coached internationally a lot, and there are so many different styles of the game, levels of athleticism, discipline, skill sets, that you can only grow in those situations. So they both have come back completely different players, and I think it's made them a whole lot more seasoned and tough, because now they've seen something that, you know, most players their age haven't seen.
Good luck to you guys out west, and we had a chance to catch up with the two girls who spent some time in Brazil and over in Europe.
This is such an amazing opportunity. You have to step on it and take it. So I got the email, and immediately I texted my parents, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so cool, like can we please figure out a way to do this? So it was really exciting to get that opportunity.
I was actually in class whenever Coach emailed us. It was one of the classes that like it was okay for me to like kind of text my parents off my computer. We were like, I have to figure this out right now. Like this is like I can't pass this up. Traveling to get there was like awful. There was like a huge thunderstorm that came over Orlando, and my flight got canceled. And so I really like fully accepted the fact that I wasn't going. And then my mom like found a really cheap like no-name airlines flight. Then I came like a day late, but I missed the whole first day that they were there.
The first day we were there, practice was like, I can't see, I can't move my legs. So it took a little bit of adjusting to the time, but it got better as the week went on.
They had this soda called Guaraná. It was so good. I'm really like tempted to buy some Guaraná off Amazon because they don't sell it here. It was so good.
I think my favorite part was probably going up to the Christ statue that they have, because we went all the way up to the top. So we have some really cool pictures standing in front of the Christ the Redeemer statue, and just like to see the whole city from the top of that, it was really special.
Just picking up on little things that international players do that like you just don't teach in America. Like seeing the court and tipping the ball certain ways and just handling the ball differently was like really interesting, and I was excited to bring it back to our gym.
International setters play the game in such a different way, and they're so quick and they're so like different with how they do things. So it was cool to be able to sit there and watch like some of the best setters compete and kind of learn from them and bring it into the gym now.
Volleyball will be tipping things off in the Colorado Premier Challenge coming up this weekend. Coming up next, we'll check in on season openers for soccer and cross country here on the Coach Shinnick Show.
Success isn't measured by fame or fortune. It's measured by time and the amount of times you influence others to be better, to transform something small into something spectacular. Success is measured by the impact you make. What impact will you make? The University of West Florida. No limits.
Hey, who are you?
Oh, hey, Jeff, I'm a car thief.
What?
I'm here to steal your car because, well, that's my job.
What?
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 It happens. So get off stake. I'd be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere, so get an Allstate agent. In Pensacola, call Melissa Keener.
Look at that. 5 glorious inches of Whataburger. Fresh 100% beef stacked high with melted cheese and fresh cut veggies. But what if it's too much fresh beef? Stacked too high with too much melted cheese and too many fresh cut veggies? Well, we have a 4-inch burger like a lot of other places. We just call it a junior. Good thing there's a burger made just for you. Good thing there's Whataburger.
Welcome back to the Coach Shinnick Show. Soccer has got things underway, and the men had 2 games over the weekend. Friday night, they brought in Tampa to the soccer complex, and it was a heck of a game. This one early on, Ed Chappie with a penalty kick goal puts the Argos up 1-0. After an equalizer coming for Tampa, we get deep into the game, and it's the super senior, the red shirt senior, Sean Hofstetter, with a goal that pulls out the 2-1 win as the Argos start this season 1-0. Sunday, it would be St. Leo visiting the soccer complex, and the Argos would get on the board first. Davi Alves with the first goal of the game makes it 1-0 Argos, and kind of like the Tampa game on Friday, the opponent would come back. St. Leo would equalize things. This one would go a long time, and it would be Sean Hofstetter again getting his second goal of the opening weekend to pull out the second victory of the season for UWF. We caught up with Coach Bill Elliott after the 2 matches to talk about 2 big wins.
Overall, you have to say it's a great weekend. The Sunshine Conference is so strong, arguably the strongest conference men's soccer in the country, and to come out 2-0 against teams from that conference was a great weekend for us. We learned a lot about the character, I think. Friday night, we were really tested. We kept passing the ball, we kept moving the ball, we kept creating chances, and finally, in overtime, the resilience paid off and we got the goal. And then today, I don't think it was fun for either team. It was just brutal. It was 25 years I've been coaching in Florida. I can't remember a hotter day, but our guys found enough, connected enough passes, created just enough chances, and the 2 goals we scored built right off of the game winner against Tampa. When you're finding the back of the net with that kind of marksmanship, you feel good.
The UWF women's team also in action to get the season started over the weekend. 8th-ranked UWF hosting Trevecca Nazarene at the soccer complex. And this one would be another nice start to the 2019 season. Freshman Anita Daniels-Daughter opens the scoring, opens her account for the Argonauts, gets the first goal of the game in the second half. In the 65th minute, first lead of the season, and then in the 84th minute, this game would stay very close. It would be Annie Rolfe with a goal, and the Argos go 2-0 for the victory. And this is a big one as Coach Joe Bartlinski gets his 500th career victory. We caught up to Coach Bart after the game.
Trevecca, we knew was going to be a really difficult team, and proud of how our players responded on a really hot, difficult day to beat a very good team like Trevecca. So 500 just means I've outlived a lot of other coaches, and then our focus now really honestly turns to 501. We lost so many great seniors that they have to come in and score goals, and you saw 2 of our newcomers come in and get both of our goals. Every team's gunning for West Florida. Every team is after, and that's where these new players have to realize that every team is coming after them. And it's going to take a while, but they're going to learn that we are the target, and they have to embrace that.
So 3 victories in total for the UWF soccer programs, 2 for the men, 1 for the women over the weekend. They will both be at Rollins, and then they are home on Sunday and Monday. You can go to goargos.com to take a look at those schedules. The cross-country teams also in action up at the University of North Alabama to open their seasons. The men finishing 4th out of 10 teams in that meet up there. The women finished 8th. They will be running again down in Gainesville on the 14th coming up this weekend. Coming up next here on the Coach Shinnick Show, we will talk to Coach Pete Shinnick again as we preview the upcoming game at Shorter.
Meet George. He's always searching for a new adventure and has big plans to build. Dad supports his vision and is ready to lend a helping hand. He's using a Pen Air personal loan to bring George's imagination to life. And now, their next big adventure awaits in their own backyard. Here's to banking smarter and reaching higher. Apply today at penair.org/loans.
What's even better than going to a UWF football game? Going with all your friends. Decks are available for groups between 25 and 200 people. All group decks come with a UWF football game ticket, food, and soft drinks. It's great for company outings, group functions, birthday parties, and youth groups. Prices start as low as $25 per person. Call 850-474-2746 for more information or to book your deck today. Back with you again here on the Coach Shinnick Show, and Coach Shinnick joins us again. We're in the football locker room. You guys have done a nice little remodel of this space during the offseason. It looks fantastic.
Well, we're blessed. We really are. Was able to get some graphics up, get some things that we talk about a lot, Greek word arete, our program theme, and then to be able to put the pictures up outside in the hallway, I just think it makes the Gooden Center that much more appealing. It was an amazing building before. Now we've added some really nice personal touches to it.
Locker rooms have come a long way since our day, way back in the day.
No doubt.
And you kind of have to do that for the players now.
Well, it's a tremendous space that they spend a lot of time in, and you know, we've got them a great area. Now they walk in, I think it kind of feels at home. But yeah, these things have changed quite a bit, and we think we have one of the better ones in the country.
Let's talk about what's coming up here. Another road trip, second one of the season here up to Rome, Georgia to take on Shorter. And they're coming off, the Hawks are a tough loss against East Tennessee State, 48-10 there. And this is a program that they're still trying to find their feet a little bit.
They really are, and they've struggled. They haven't won many games, obviously. But what jumps out to you on film is they're a much improved team than they were from a year ago. And probably on the defensive side, they've made some great strides. Offensively, they've got a lot of guys who played football, a lot of football for them last year back, especially in the O-line. Obviously, you play an FCS program. East Tennessee State got after them pretty well. But as we look at it, we go, okay, this is a team that's hungry for its first conference victory, and we got to go on the road and play well.
I would assume motivation not going to be any kind of issue for your team coming off the loss, and I know they're ready to get back out there.
Yeah, I would hope not, and we had a good practice for about an hour on Saturday to kind of work out some of the soreness of playing on a Thursday night, and really liked our guys' energy and their approach to it. You know, we obviously know we got to get better. You know, the thing that I was encouraged by, if you can be encouraged by a loss, was, you know, 6:40 to go in the game, 6:50 in the game, we're down 7. Defense needs to make a stop. They make that stop. They keep them from scoring. Obviously took a little time off the clock, and offense had a chance. And so we always talk about having an opportunity to win a game in the end, and we were close there. Now we got to find a way to be ahead. We got to find a way to take advantage of the situations that we had prior to that time.
We talked a lot in the fall camp and leading up to the first game about your depth on this football team. You saw a little bit of that in the game up against Carson-Newman. Do you like where you are there?
Yeah, we played a lot of guys, was able to get a tremendous amount of experience with some guys, and there's other guys that I think we can play a little more, and I think that rotation will get better. The first game is always probably the hardest because, you know, you get into a routine and then it's like, all right, who should I put in? When do I put it in? It's really something that, you know, I'll continue to talk to our players about because everybody kind of gauges, oh, is this what the rest of the year looks like? No, it doesn't. It's just what happens in game one, and you get into a tight game, you get into a tense situation, and you just kind of go with what, you know, some of the guys who have been in there.
You guys won't be at home until the 21st. That's Virginia Lynchburg coming in. That is a whiteout game at home. We'll talk more about that coming up next week on the Coach Shinnick Show. We will be a noon kickoff, local time here, 1 o'clock up there. We'll be on the radio at 11:30 on ESPN Pensacola. Coach, good luck to you guys this week. We're looking forward to an Argo victory.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time right here on the Coach Shinnick Show.